can I set the pace quickly? I really want to make sure that everyone is on the right state of mind. Is that cool?
Of course.
Are you able to unmute everyone right now?
Unmute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tammy has to do it.
Tammy, are you able to unmute everyone? Please and thank
Well,
you.
everyone can do that.
All right, unmute yourselves.
Okay.
Now.
You might echo.
All right. Whether you're in
I
Vegas or
turned my
not,
volume down.
you have to participate.
I have a feeling I know what's happening. Yay!
Me too.
I love money and money loves me.
I love
Yeah,
money,
I love
money
money and money loves me. Yeah, money and money loves me. Yeah, I love money and money loves me.
Money loves me. Money.
There we go. There we go. See, just put a smile on everyone's face. Now we're good to go.
Awesome.
It
It was a fantastic exercise. It truly was. As simple as that was, man, that was, yeah, anybody that wasn't there, well, yeah, you can describe it. Yeah, describe your experience.
Yeah, so the whole point of what I just did, obviously it sounds silly and it feels silly doing it. But since I got back from Vegas, even when I'm at the club or wherever, even today I went on a hike and I just started hopping around singing it. And all it does, it just raises your vibration. The whole point of this is just whatever state of mind that you're at, no matter what time of day. Sometimes you feel a little shitty, man, whether you're sick, whether you're tired, whether you just got off work and it's been a long day. As soon as you start like saying that and hopping, like it sounds stupid, but you'll have a little smirk on your face. Next thing you know, you're good to go again. So whenever you get onto a Zoom call, whenever you get onto a coaching call, whenever you're going to talk to someone, whenever you're going to run ads or something like that, just do that for like 10 seconds. And then you're just going to giggle a little bit. You're going to be in better mood. You're going to feel good. And then just keep going with whatever you're doing. It's just all about changing your state of mind. That's all it is.
Change your physiology, which changes your mind, right?
Yeah.
Changes your physiology, which will change your psychology. And even better, if you can do it with somebody. So if you've got a spouse, you got a partner, you've got a business partner, hold hands, jump around like fools and say, I love money and money loves me. And chant it over and over and over. You'll be amazed at how different you'll feel once you do that.
I have some video of that from the event.
Yeah, and just for perspective, everybody, this came from a couple that literally were broke like 8 months ago, had to go on food stamps, and they were already in the business, and they made some sales here and there, but they really, really struggled. And they started changing their relationship with money. They started changing the way they thought about money. They started changing their daily activities as well, and everything changed for them. And now, in the last 8 months or so, they've made about $600,000. So
no matter how silly you might feel it is, listen to those who have the results that you want.
That's right. That's awesome share, Dan. So you set the pace. What's your victory?
All right. Well, my main one, there's tons this week, man. Since I've been back, it's been great. But my main one, yesterday I reached out to you about the email there. But Michael Burnoff, I signed up for a 5-day class with him, and today they sent me an accountability partner. Her name was Danielle. Chatted with her today. I'm going to chat with her again tomorrow morning at 10. And then Sunday, we have our first call at 5. And then Monday to Thursday at 7 a.m. They're 3-hour calls. And it's going to be very intense. It's going to be very interactive. I'm super pumped to do this. I had a little bit of taste of him on the weekend, but we're going to go a little bit deeper. And I can't wait to get all the value out of this so I can share with everybody else.
Awesome, man. He's a world-class trainer, man. World-class. Learning from a guy that makes, 8 figures a year probably. So, yeah, he knows the stuff. And he's been around the direct selling and sales world for a long period of time. So, everybody that wasn't there, I'm sure they will get some feedback from those of you that registered. And, when it comes to sales processes and coaching calls, he truly is a master. You can tell he's a pro.
Yeah, he blew my mind. I think he blew everyone's mind.
Awesome. All right, who else has a victory to share? Who's up? Come on, who's got a victory to share the last 7 days?
I can talk. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say I can talk a little bit about the experience that I had, both in the event and then things that happened, conversations that I had outside of the event, but while in Vegas, I've been able to really change my own personal mindset and really started letting go, like for real. I feel like a completely different person right now than I was. And I've really started letting go of all the stuff that's been sort of holding me back and the blocks that I had in my mind. I think it's been super beneficial, as weird as it sounds, that I came back and didn't have a job to go to because I'm not going back to being surrounded by that negative energy and just being so tired when I get home at the end of the day that I'm too tired to do anything good. And so I've dropped like 5 pounds over the past 2 days, and I think that I'm like literally just letting things go right now, and it just feels really good.
Way to go, Chris. We might dive into that in a little bit.
Sure.
Awesome. Who else has a victory to share? There were a bunch of people clamoring for the spotlight like 30 seconds ago.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes, Angela.
So I'm driving right now, so hopefully the road sound isn't too crappy for you to hear me. But
No,
yeah,
you're loud and clear.
Awesome. Well, being in Vegas, of course, is a huge victory for me. And getting reconnected to Michael Burnoff is another huge victory. Had an accountability call this morning. It was fantastic, as always. And Danielle is awesome. She is my favorite of all of his coaches. So you're going to have fun with Danielle as an accountability partner. But I think the biggest thing for me is really kind of settling into the routine of my the two things that I do. You know, the one is Jay-Z and the Enagic business, and the other is my combined business. And I've got it now set up so that I know exactly what I'm doing when. And I've started implementing that, and it feels fantastic. I'll continue to kind of, mold it and make it right. But I really do feel I have a handle on it. I've got my Facebook now set up so that I can freely do my marketing through my Facebook, and I feel super good about that. I found out though that Facebook has shut down my payment account, so I've had to send off a message to them indicating that it's okay to use that card. So I'm kind of held up for a little bit until I see what happens with that. But yeah, feeling really good about the routine that I've set up for myself for each day.
Awesome. Way to go, Ange.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, let's take one more victory. How about that?
All right, I'm up. Okay, so some of the biggest takeaways that I had, even just from the event, you guys are going to hear probably Michael Burnoff's name a million times, probably in our chats or masterminds, because like Kevin said, he's such an exceptional world-class trainer and coach. And I believe not only did he teach me, but everybody in that room, just the power of our own decisions. And that one of the biggest takeaways was he asked everybody to raise their hand in the room, like, who here has, struggles with their spouse or somebody who doesn't believe in them, and just getting everybody to raise their hand, like, who here has a job that they have that sucks or not happy with their current circumstances in life. And he asked everybody to look around the room, and he said, you know what? Every single person in this room shares that story. We all have a pain. We all have a struggle. So remember, when you're talking to your prospect or lead, they're in the same boat as you, right? They're going through shit. They have someone who doesn't believe in them. They have a boss they hate, a job they can't stand. Maybe they have challenges they face day to day. Maybe their upbringing wasn't so great. That's the person you're talking to. And if you can really humble yourself when you speak to someone, instead of selling to people and trying to close $99 buyers, and really, really build that rapport and share with them, your positive energy, because your energy literally comes through this community. It comes through the Global Affiliate Zone community, because that's the community that's put all of these pieces together to uplift every single person here on this mastermind, every single person who came to Vegas. And I just feel like I'm speaking a whole new language now to my prospects. And in fact, I actually went back to old messages that, you know, maybe the messages didn't go my way. I went back and I sent new messages. And just this morning, I went back to my business account and I had 3 new people message back that I probably didn't send a message to for probably 5 months. And so now I felt like, you know what, these are not dead leads. They're just, maybe it wasn't the right time for them. Doesn't mean I'm going to give up. Maybe I just needed to change the way I communicated with them or share a message or information a little bit different. So literally every thought we have every day, we have to stop and be aware of what is my thinking. You know, set an alarm. That's one thing that I believe Matthew Jang talked about. He said, set an alarm every 2 hours on your phone that just buzzes and ask yourself, what is my state of mind right now? And what am I doing? If you're writing an ad and you're irritated, you're cranky, you're tired, stop what you're doing. Meditate, go for a walk, make something to eat, take a nap, right? And then come back to it with a better state of mind. So take a lot of these breaks to make sure, do it, you know, when they say take a checkup from the neck up, literally do that every few hours and make sure you're always in the right state of mind when you're running your business. So those are my takeaways.
Awesome share, Tammy. And you got would you say that you got that primarily from Burnoff or just from a lot of different points in the weekend?
A lot of different points. I mean, if, you know, for those of you who weren't there, one of the common questions a lot of people in the audience asked was, they asked the top leaders what their daily routines look like. And I assure you, they're all the same. Every single one of them make themselves priority number 1. When they wake up in the morning, they're not picking up their cell phone and checking messages. They're doing things like meditating, exercise, yoga, taking a walk, time for themselves, reading a book, podcasts, audiobooks, right? And they literally invest 2 to 3 hours in the morning when they start into themselves, into their state of mind, into their own well-being. And then they turn business on when they want to. Michael Burnoff himself, someone asked him what his day looks like. He says, I'll just be honest with you. I don't even get my ass out of bed till after 10 a.m. Like that just doesn't happen, you know? And some people will try to force down your throat and say, you should be up at 5 a.m, crack of dawn before the roosters in order to be successful. And that's not true. It's not how early you get up. It's how you get up. It's what you do. That's something I learned from everyone that was there.
The discipline, right? The discipline to own your day and control your day and know what serves you and not be slave to the day.
Yes.
And I think that's essentially what you're saying, right, Tammy?
Yes.
So have you changed any of your routines?
Oh, totally. In fact, I even changed up how I do it. I don't have my phone in my room anymore, and that was the biggest challenge. Today I went and picked up an alarm clock. That was weird. I feel like I went back in time. So, you know, technically tomorrow morning will be my first day waking up to an alarm clock versus my cell phone buzzing. So next Thursday, I'll have to give you an update how my week went.
Yeah, let us know how that goes. I'm resistant. I have an alarm clock, but I never set it. It's just for the time.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's because I'm a sleeper. If I don't set that alarm, I'll be sleeping till 10, 12, and I do not want to be working till 1 a.m. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Okay, well, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing the victories, everybody. I'd love to go through this. This is the last week of the month. We are going to be starting the leadership development course shortly. So next week, we'll be sending details in the Epic group and the chat about that leadership development. So it is voluntary, but the key, and it's something that Burnoff talked about as well, is in this industry, guys, regardless of how well you can market, regardless of how well you can sell, the people that truly make life-changing income and they're here for the long term are the people that become leaders, the people that are investing themselves as leaders, not marketers, not producers, but as leaders. They can step up as a leader and be able to develop other people as well, that really is the start of leadership. You know, if anybody has not yet read 5 Levels of Leadership by John Maxwell, that's a great book to establish or get an idea of where you're at on the leadership scale, and why it's important, and what are the activities that a level 3 leader would have throughout his or her day. A level 4 leader, very, very few people ever reach level 5. Those are people like Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, I don't know, Steve Jobs, you know, Elon Musk, you know, people that have literally legacies behind them that are going to last much longer than after they passed, if that makes sense. So I want to ask everybody, what are, you know, I'm putting everybody on the spot right now. What are some leadership lessons that you have learned in the last little while? There's no timeline on it. Maybe it's something that happened a year ago. Maybe it's something that happened recently. What are some leadership lessons that you've had that came out of some sort of challenge or obstacle that forced you to level up your leadership?
I can speak on that. It's not recent, but unless last year was recent, I would say, yeah, the end of 2016, early 2017. I would say biggest lesson as a, you know, as I don't want to say I was a leader. I was viewed as one. My organization viewed me as a leader. I had to be impeccable with my word. And honestly, that was the biggest lesson I learned last year before I even left the last organization I was with, is everything I said, there were people I was impressionable upon that I didn't realize. I went through a very bad business situation with a very close friend, and literally I bitched at everybody who was around me, anybody who would listen. Joanne was in my organization. She knows fully well what I went through. And at that moment, I was not in a state of mind of realizing that the words that I was saying was negatively affecting the people around me, affecting my team. And they stopped talking to me, obviously, because every time they spoke to me, all I wanted to bitch about was my business partner threw me under the bus, right? So, and I kept playing that story every single day. And I didn't realize that how impressionable my word was to others who looked up to me. And it took a few conversations and a few blows to the ego and sucking it up and going, holy shit, like this is just about me dealing with something. I have to be able to turn to somebody who has, either experienced something like this, and I had to learn to figure out how to forgive. All of these things took play, but that was, I would say, in the last year and a half, my biggest lesson, because I literally had to put my ego away and really look deep inside myself and look at how I was affecting others versus myself. And I find that we get stuck in that trap sometimes because we don't realize it. Sometimes we forget we're a leader. We forget others look up to us. And you have to pause and realize, even if you don't see yourself as a leader today, even if you just started, yesterday, last week, last month, there are people around you, you have no idea. They just might connect with you and look up to you without you realizing it, and just have a level of respect for you that maybe you're not prepared for, but that's the place they're at. They see something in you that's greater than them, and they look up to you and see you as a leader, right? No one goes up to you and gives you this badge or an award or a lanyard and says, oh, you're now a leader, so act as if, right? Sometimes it happens without you realizing. So biggest lesson I took away last year, and to even today, I'm still constantly having to, give myself a checkup from the neck up and go, okay, am I being congruent? Am I being impeccable? Did I have to watch what I say, repeat, did I say something that person might take not the wrong way to them, but maybe I expressed myself the wrong way, and I constantly having to learn a better way to communicate, to send a more positive, congruent message externally outside myself.
Awesome, Tammy. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else have a leadership lesson that has occurred?
I don't think it's something new that I learned. I think it's more of a reminder. Sometimes you just got to be reminded. First of all, we spend our days focusing on how we can make more money and trying to sharpen skills and everything. At the end of the day, everyone should write this down, really. Our number one mission between all of us is to become a person of influence. The rest is details. The rest will come. If you're truly trying to be a person of influence, your skills will come up. The money will follow. Everything else will follow. Another one is how you show up. You know, you might show up every single day, including myself. And, you know, sometimes if you show up like this and you talk like this and you're trying to be a leader, good luck trying to have people following you. It's just a matter of putting your shoulders back and speaking a little bit louder and be confident, you know. Not saying that I wasn't confident before. I was going to actually bring this up right away too. A big moment that I had this weekend. There was 4 C's that he came up with just to see what you have to work on the most. One of them was communication. One of them was commitment. One of them was congruency. And one of them was confidence. Obviously, there's always room for improvement on everything. But I really realized that congruency was mine, because even though I do take daily action every single day, my goals are so big that my daily actions were not congruent with my goals. And that was a big smack in the face for me. And I'm so glad I had a good, tough talk with myself. And then I did a little mastermind when I came back with my team. And I'm not saying I'm going to start cracking the whip on everyone, but I've always been the guy that's always super nice and always very easygoing. I mean, that's okay. Go at your own pace. You're doing great. But at the same time, it's including myself. It's really important to be able to take a look at yourself in the mirror and be okay. Like, if I'm not where I want to be right now, what the fuck can I change right now? And
yeah, can you repeat the 4 C's, bro?
Yeah. It's communication, commitment, congruency, and confidence. So yeah, the fact that I have a really good heart-to-heart with myself and give myself some tough love made me realize that other people needed too. So again, sometimes as a leader, you don't always tell people what they want to hear. You got to tell them what they need to hear. And that's something that I definitely needed to work on.
Awesome. Great share, Jan. Would you say that congruency was the biggest or the only one that you wanted to work on, or did you feel like there were more?
No, like I said, there's room to improve on all of them. You know, communication when I say communication, it's not just with others, it's with yourself too, right? The conversations you have with yourself are so important. They're probably more important than the ones that you have with other people. There's room to grow on all of them. Commitment. I mean, like you said, that no one there had a commitment issue because we all showed up, but there's always room for improvement. Same with confidence. I'm a confident guy, but there's always room for improvement. But I really think congruency is the one that needs to be worked on the most.
Awesome share, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a leadership lesson that they would like to share? Something, an epiphany, a light bulb of any sort regarding leadership?
I can go.
Are you guys in the same room?
I just realized that in order to be a leader, you need to really listen to your heart and not in your head. I've been so concerned about what my teammate thinks and whether I'm a good leader or not, instead of just acting and being an example. By choosing to be more accountable and using action instead of words and saying that I'm going to do something, I just go and do it. So for me, I find that I'm more of a leader. And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm reading the John Maxwell leadership book, that it's like, okay, like, yeah, that makes sense. But I just feel like I've stepped up my game and that I'm a better leader today than I was even a week ago.
Awesome, Kyla. And what would you say is the major factor for you feeling that way and noticing that you are leveling up as a leader?
Sorry, I missed half of your question. We were just trying to figure out our volumes between the two computers. Can you repeat?
No problem. What would you say is the major contributing factor to you feeling like you are leveling up in your leadership?
Confidence for sure. And also just really the only way you're going to change things is by doing it yourself. And in order to help people realize that within themselves, you have to act on it and you have to believe in it. And by following your heart, you're becoming that leader because you can listen to the instincts instead of listening to your head, where it's like, well, what if I say this and what if I say that, and it like is not congruent with my belief or my values. So it just I'm just more aware of what I need to do, whereas before I wasn't. I like that.
Awesome, Kyla. You know, there's a book. I know some of you guys have dove into it because it was recommended by Landon Estates. I actually happen to be reading it right now as well. It's called Principles by Ray Dalio. Ray Dalio, he manages $150 billion. That's his hedge fund that he manages. And a lot of his success comes from these principles that he's outlined. And he talks about radical transparency, radical honesty with yourself, and realizing that while we have instincts that do serve us, those instincts, we do need to trust our gut. He absolutely says that. But he also says that we are the highest level of intelligence on the planet Earth as we know it. There's a reason why we have that level of cognitive ability. We have to mix both instinct and emotion with that cognitive ability. You know, so while your gut and your instinct, your intuition is very valuable, a lot of times it's right. If you can mix it now with the with logic, with using your head. I'm not saying it's common sense, but having deeper problem-solving capacity and creativity, then that's where we see a lot of the biggest innovations and the most success in our society is when people mix the two. Because successful people don't just rely on instinct and gut feeling and emotion, and they also don't just rely on what's logical and pragmatic. You know, so it sounds like there's no real formula there, but when you have that higher level of awareness and you realize that there are two sides to play off of each other and balance them out and have that awareness in yourself on how you feel and how you think, that way you can solve bigger problems. And part of success, guys, I'll tell you this, is that if you want to be wealthy, you want to be successful, you want to have influence, you have to be willing to embrace large problems. If you don't shy away from problems, if you don't have stuff that goes bad in your life, you don't have things that go wrong or don't go your way, and you don't tackle them, you're not ready to be successful, right? And that's just the brass tacks. That's the honest truth. You know, with people, with politics, with personalities and drama, it all happens. But the more willing and able you are to deal with those types of problems in a diplomatic and higher level way, the more money you'll make. It basically is universal law, right? The bigger problems you solve, the more success and more money you make. Carl, were you going to say something? I saw you got unmuted.
I was. Thanks, Kev. For me, for a while, Nikki and I were just like, we were really hustling and focusing. We always focused on our team, but we kind of shifted a little bit. And so now what we've been doing with the Live Loud team is we've been doing a lot of team building, motivating exercises, getting the group to engage. And since we've done that, it's been incredible. Just people are stepping out. They're confident just with the small exercises that we're doing. And it's really cool to see. And because obviously if you can come at this as a group, it's a lot of fun, and it's cool to see people step out of their comfort zone when you have these exercises. So for us, as a lead, like, us leading, we just started implementing more exercises as a group and getting our team to engage, and it's really, really helped. So that's one of the biggest things that I've learned in this last while is building as a group.
Awesome. Well, what would be an example, Call?
We just have little exercises that we do. Like we're putting something together right now for a 90-day sprint. So I'm actually putting it all together, and I can actually share that with you guys once I have it all put together. And just it's going to be daily exercises. We've done contests for teams on daily exercises of doing go lives, commenting on other people's ads to season those ads. Nick, what are a couple other things here? I'm drawing a blank.
Just showing up to like meetings like this, like just being engaged in meetings like this, and also doing content videos and that kind of stuff. So really just the everyday stuff that people should be doing in their business, where a lot of times even when you're first starting, you're not really sure like where to focus, like where to put your time, where to put your energy, and like what to focus on. So a good mix of income producing activities along with the personal development to keep your mindset in the right spot and just continuously growing. And just to actually add on to it, I don't mean to take away from what Colin was saying, but one of the things that I've learned too, and I know we've actually talked about it on this call before, and I've talked to Kevin a lot about it, I've talked to Tammy about it too, is one of the biggest things that I've learned as far as a leadership thing is that sometimes, and this might go towards what Jan was saying as well, is like I had a really hard time telling people what they needed to hear versus telling them what they wanted to hear. I would always tell them what they wanted to hear. And I would always do things for them in the sense of constantly, not when I get on a Zoom with them, I would literally do like request remote control access and like do everything for them. And one of the biggest things that I've realized, and it's been one of these things that I've gradually perfecting, is that that's actually not helping them. That's actually not building doing a disservice to them, because you're not helping them learn, you're not helping them grow, you're not helping them be resourceful. So one of the biggest things for me that I've learned is just to help people be resourceful, help bring the leader out within them out, and help them see their true potential versus running their business for them or getting the answer for them. Is just really pushing them to seeing that they're capable and have the capability of doing it themselves. And so I think it goes hand in hand with what Jan was saying as well, is sometimes it's hard to tell people, well, this is where you're not showing up in your business. This is what you're not doing. This is not where you're not engaged. And it's hard to do that because you feel like you're hurting their feelings, or, like it was really hard for me. But at the same time, they came to you in the first place to be coached and mentored. They came to you because they wanted a change. They wanted to see a shift in their life. So it's almost a duty as a leader for you to be able to guide them. And it's not to say that you have to be rude or this sucks, you're not doing this here, but just reminding them that this is the thing. These are the things that you need to do to not only grow your business, but to help grow the leader within you. So that's just kind of something just to kind of add on to what Colin was saying. And just honestly challenging people in the sense of like, yeah, it's really hard to get on a video and share content and get inspired, but that to get inspired, things like listening to podcasts, listening to audio, reading books, that's where you get your inspiration from. That's where you are able to gain content and then go on and do a content video or do a go live. And so little pieces, like all of these little pieces daily, consistently, and then that flowing over into creating it more of a habit, more of a daily routine, that these are the necessary steps that you need to take to not only be successful in your business, but to help yourself grow as a leader.
Give a man a fish and you feed him dinner. Teach him how to fish, feed him for life.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
True.
And we kind of did it on a points tracking system. So like if you read a book, if you do a $99 call, if you meditate, if you do your gratitude, you just get points. And what's really good is people start taking accountability for their own business. And we can't force you to run your business, and we can't force you to read books and meditate. So it all comes to the accountability within, and it's really helped a lot of people step out of their comfort zone and learn and grow. And it's probably the biggest thing that I've been experiencing in this last, I'd say probably 6 weeks, is I'm really comfortable in my own skin, and I'm happy again, and I just have a lot of patience of the long-term vision, and I don't know where it flipped, but I believe it's just from the action that I've taken within the business, reading, meditating. I know this is the long term. This is the end game, and I've calmed down. I don't rush, and I'm not all crazy. Like I was not crazy, but I was, I always had my pedal to the metal, and I think I burnt out is what I'm saying. And I just slow back. I have my routine, and my daily routine doesn't start at 5 a.m. or 10 o'clock. It shifts. It shifts with my mood. It shifts on my energy level. And I'm very, very blessed that I'm able to do this full time from home. But if you like what Tammy was saying, is if you are starting new in your business, you have to hustle. You have to hustle. You got to give it all. And if it's like, if you're working at 7, get up at 5. And if you're getting up at 5, go to bed at 10. Because that's what I had to do in the beginning, because I didn't have the option of the flexibility I do right now. But you have to burn the frickin' boats. Like, it's all in. This is the best compensation plan you can get into. So once I started to understand the value of that and started making that income, and just like my leadership role is now, I just like, before it was like, I always tried to be the leader, but like Nikki said, like we cared so much that we wanted to do the stuff for them. We would do the calls here and there, and like it burnt us out, but it also didn't it didn't help our team. And when we shifted it and we put the accountability back on them, like our call schedule dropped with our team, like, reaching out to us. And it's just a whole nother experience of building our organization. And so the biggest thing is just communicating and growing as a team, like really helping the team grow with exercises. Long-winded, I'm sorry. I always go long-winded though.
You always share it with passion, Call. And that's what we love about it. I'll expand on that idea a little bit, because I do believe I know where that confidence came from, Call, and it came from your consistency. Right? You've been involved for 1.5 years now. You guys have paid your dues. You guys grinded. You hustled while you were still working out of town. You did all the things that you needed to do, and that confidence doesn't come from getting lucky. It doesn't come from just a little bit of coaching. Guys, when we talk about the 4 C's, confidence being relevant in so many different areas of our lives. Confidence, if you're dating, hey, confidence is important, because if you're not confident, you know what, you're going to get trampled on, right? In business, you have to be confident as well, right? If you're out there and you want to be a leader in any regard, in any aspect of your life, could be religious, could be relational, could be business, it could be personally. That confidence comes from repetition, right? Repetition is the mother of all skill. And so when you think about your development as a leader and as a producer or marketer, you have to repeat everything over and over and over. And that's why you've gotten good. That's where I believe that confidence came from, Call, is because you did over and over. You split test ads, you did videos, you did go lives. Your first go live, remember, you were like gonna pee your pants, and you just kept going at it, and that's what gave you that confidence. And that's why you're in a position where you're going to make multiple 6 figures a year this year, in your first full year.
And I want to give someone props on here. And there's probably a lot of people on here that I don't know as well, but I want to give Chris McNeil some huge props. Chris, like, I got goosebumps and I'm getting heavy-eyed. Like, honestly, like, holy smokes, I'm emotional here. And I watched a go live with you the other day, and you were in the car wash, and that fucking go live could have went real sideways. And the value you brought was insane. Like I was so engaged, and like I'm so proud of you. And it's because you're showing up. And I remember being on these calls, and you had to go post a video, and that video never got posted that night because you were probably scared at that time. But like you're showing up, girl, and it shows. So I'm so proud of what you're doing, and just watching you grow is huge. And that's what this community is about. It's about people coming as a group and helping each other and learn and grow and, you know, get to that next level. And you are next level. So way to go. So proud of you, buddy.
Well, you're making me drippy.
What else is
I
new,
have
Chris?
had a heck of a weekend, let me tell you. And I haven't even stop saying stuff. You guys are going to make me cry more. I haven't even touched the surface of what happened over the course of the weekend. I mean, the people that were there got to witness a small part of it, but the stuff that was happening, the conversations that I was having with people outside of what was seen, like I stood up and I yes, you did. So I stood up and I ended up talking with Michael Burnoff on the Saturday, and it was a little bit unintentional. People weren't responding to something that he asked, and I was like, oh, I think I have an answer to that question. And all of a sudden, he just reframed the whole thing and said, hey, look at you not being confident, and here's your body language proving that fact. And I mean, everything happened so fast that I've put in a couple of groups today that I wish somebody had recorded it, because I missed a lot of it. Like I didn't retain a lot of what he said specifically. But I had been standing with one hand on the microphone and one hand behind my back, which is something that I've done for years. And I've never thought about it. I have scarring on my back, and I've rubbed my back for years. And I think that was probably where it started, but it became a confidence issue. And he had me just simply move my hand to my hip. Wonder Woman pose. It was that simple. And it changed how I was putting myself out there. And it became so apparent, and it was so strong in what I said. I bet you over the course of the next 36 hours or so, I probably had 20 different people approach me that I've never met before to tell me that I had been speaking what they were too afraid to say. And I said the words that they couldn't say and that they were thinking. And it was just, I mean, that wasn't even the biggest astounding moment for me. I already did go live on the one that was like, whoa, that was really surreal with a woman named Amber. But I mean, so much has happened. And then I also spent probably 6 or 7 hours over the course of the weekend with Travis, which was really amazing. Some of it just having fun, and some of it we did a session. And after my session with him, we were sitting in the VIP. Those chairs were absolutely awful. I stood up to stretch out. And for the first time in more than 20 years, I kid you not, I didn't even see it coming. I could touch my toes. And it was, that sounds really random and really weird, but it's because I'm letting go. I'm relaxing. I'm releasing. My muscles are relaxing. I was just saying, I dropped a whole bunch of weight. Over the past 2 days, I've lost like 5 pounds. Just everything is releasing, and I really honestly feel like a totally different person, in large part because I didn't have to go back to work, and I'm able to stay in this community 100% and focus. And I'm just super excited. It changed everything for me.
Well, I see an incredible shift in you. Like, I just love it, because I see a shift in a ton of people, but like, I'm blown away. Like, I'm just so proud of you. And the reason why you're showing up, like you're you showed up to these events, and you're learning, and you're growing, and you're pulling, you're getting that onion, you're peeling those, you're just peeling it off, just all the dirty, like the cobwebs and just all the BS that you've taken on. And I can see you starting to release it. And that's why you're losing weight. And that's why you're feeling light, just because you're getting rid of it. You're getting clear. And for me, I was just so proud of your Go Live. I'm so proud of a lot of your content that you're putting out, and it's amazing to see. It's amazing to see you grow and just become a different person. So love you.
Thank
Cassandra.
you. Cassandra.
Yeah.
I was just.
Hey guys, can you guys hear me?
I hear a voice, but I can't see who's
Yeah,
talking.
it's Nate. I don't have my video. It's dark
Oh,
out.
there you are.
What's up, guys? That whole Cassandra exercise really helped me as well. For some reason now I can actually, like, from an anxiety state of mind, I can literally just switch it off in a matter of seconds. It's really weird. It's super weird, but it's a great feeling to know that I have that power now. I don't have to go through life with anxiety here and there. You know what I mean? So it's definitely it's something so simple, but something that really has a huge impact on someone, especially with anxiety and stuff like that. So that's one takeaway I had.
Phenomenal, Nate. Thanks for sharing, my man.
You got it.
Hey.
Thanks for letting me.
Hey, I don't want to steal the spotlight. Can I add something really quickly?
Yes.
Yeah, brother.
First off, I want to give props to everyone who showed up. There's lots of faces here that show up every week and we see every week. Some of you guys that I see, it's your first mastermind. Some of them, you've been here before, but not for a long time. So I want to give you props. And I'm not pointing fingers here, and I'm not singling anyone out. But one thing that's going to help you with the confidence, and trust me, I know where you're coming from because I've been there when my first few Go Lives. Sometimes you want to speak out, you want to say something, but you think other people might think it's stupid. Kind of like Chris was just saying, you know, she said something that other people wanted to say. Show your faces. Stop being behind a black screen and ask questions, add something. You might think that what you have to say doesn't add value. You might think it's stupid, but that's all in your head. So practice. And then the more comfy you are here, the better you're going to be on your videos, the better you're going to be out when you're out in person with people. And that's what we're here for, guys. We're here to grow. We're here to help each other out. No one is ever going to judge you here. This is a very safe place. So show your faces and speak up.
Beautiful advice. Yeah, beautiful advice. Spoken like a leader. Chris, there was something else that, would you mind sharing what that big takeaway was?
Can you be a little bit more specific? I had some pretty heavy stuff.
Well, you said that wasn't even the biggest takeaway from the weekend.
Oh,
there was something else.
Yeah.
Love for you to elaborate on that.
Yeah, for sure. So, gosh, we had our VIP day, and at the end of the day, one of the things we got to do, of course, or that I'm sure most of you heard about, was we went to this party at the mansion that the leadership had rented, and so everybody was dressed up in their fancy clothes and walking around, and I saw this woman over the course of the day that to me just looked kind of funky, and for some reason I felt intimidated by. Because I consider myself to be a very non-funky person. And something about her just made me a little bit afraid. And then halfway through the party, all of a sudden she came up to me, just like rushed me almost. And she said, I just had to introduce myself to you because I really wanted to meet you. And I've been following you for months on Facebook, and it was a goal of mine to meet you. And I just went, I was a what? And it just blew my mind in like huge ways, that little old me who just, I mean, like Colin says, I just keep showing up, but I felt like I didn't deserve that recognition because I haven't, made 6A, or I haven't done whatever this is, but it blew my mind that this woman came up to me, that I was a goal for her. How could I be a goal? And, we talked a little bit, and she was awesome, and we've become friends now. Her name's Amber. She's great. And I walked away from her, and I ended up running into Kiala Kanai, and he asked me how I was doing. And I said, I just had the most surreal moment. And I told him what had happened. And he said, well, why shouldn't you be a goal for somebody? And I kind of went, well, I just don't think I really deserve And he gave me this, there you go. And we were interrupted, so we never got to finish the conversation. But I became very aware that I had this block there that told me that I didn't deserve whatever. I mean, whether it's recognition or success or money or whatever it was, I just felt like I didn't deserve something. And once I found that block, it's so much easier to remove it once you know it's there. So that's the mindset that I had going into seeing Michael, and then had that big moment the next day. And yeah, what a weekend.
Amazing, Chris. Thank you so much for sharing. Has anybody else identified that similar kind of block where you didn't even realize that you diminished your own self? Has anybody experienced that? Yeah, Jan, Kyla, Angela. Yeah, so Colin, yeah, a few people. When you realize that you are worthy, when you get so comfortable in your own skin, and it's not about, keep in mind, everybody, that a lot of, in the pretty close to a decade of working in this industry, you see a lot of people come and go, and you see a lot of them hold themselves back from what they're truly capable of because they don't think they're worthy. They don't think they're able. They don't think they're capable. And they constantly say, oh, that'll never be me. Oh, I wish I could be there. I hope to one day be there. The person that's confident is the person that says, I will be there. I am a person of value. I am that leader. I am that person that is creating my future. And rather than put it in the future, saying, hey, I'm already becoming, it's not saying that you are, the pinnacle leader, but you know who you are. You're comfortable with your own faults. You're comfortable with your own imperfections. And when you embrace those imperfections, you say, hey, this is me. And now you don't care how you show up because you're showing up as yourself. And now it doesn't matter what mom said or aunt said or broke Uncle Bob said. It doesn't matter what the lead that says, oh, you know what, you're a scam or you're whatever, you're, whatever they're going to call you online, these keyboard warriors. Figure out, guys, take a real hard, long, deep look in the mirror and say, hey, I am worthy. I can and I will accomplish whatever it is that you set yourself out to accomplish. There is nothing holding you back other than what's up here. Go ahead, yeah.
I was just going to say, I read a quote a little while ago, and it goes exactly what you're just saying. But you're allowed to be a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time.
Love it. Love it. Who here is ready to embrace that? Right? Like, truly honor yourselves. Honor yourself for the life that you have, the vibrancy that you have. Honor yourself for the positive energy that all of you have within. I firmly believe this, that we all have both positive and negative in us. We choose to let that energy out. So some people say, well, I'm not that person. No, you have it buried deep inside you, whatever that person is. Right? We're the most intelligent beings on the face of this planet in the history of this planet. We can accomplish amazing things. But we got to let loose of those chains. We have to get out of the cocoon, so to speak. Like Chris, you've been like blossoming.
Hey, Kev,
right? Spreading your wings.
Can I touch on something? And I do have at 8 o'clock that I have to be on.
Yep.
Last weekend, just you can throw it to the side. Thanks, brother. Last Monday, I restarted our business. I started over. So what I want you guys all to do is start over, starting tonight. It's clean slate, you know, and just don't worry about anything that anybody's done. Just all I suggest is worry about yourself. Start over, you know, like Jan said and Kevin, and you know, just start reading some books and, you know, start placing some ads, but just restart. Don't worry about anything that's happened in your business so far. And like, I love what Balazs said, because like I did. I'm like, you know what? Nikki and I have done some really cool things in our business, and but her and I we've restarted our business. We've started new ads. We are working differently with each other, and you know, just get rid of all the BS. You know, stop worrying about whatever everybody else is doing, and you know, if you see anything that's going good on Facebook that, you know, like incomes and all that stuff, don't worry about anything. Just worry about yourself, and just go start this journey now, today, and go get it, because we're all worthy. You guys are amazing people, and you have so many great qualities. Doesn't matter the color of your skin, you know, or you know, your weight or what. Just don't worry about anything. Just be in love with yourself, because we have one life, and we are who we are. You know, but at the end of the day, we can change so many things in our lives if we just just stop with this, your head, all the BS in your head, and go from here. Like, everything will change. And I truly believe that's why a lot of things are changing for Nikki and myself, is because like, we're so in love with ourselves right now. We're so happy. And, you know, I've had a lot of bullshit in my life that's went on in the last 3 years, but until I really stopped and just let, you know, it is what it is, and I just let everything go, I let it go. And like Chris said, like, you feel so good. You feel light. And when you truly, truly just fall back in love with yourself for who you are, like, you know, your life will be completely different. So just get back in love with yourself, because if you're not in love with yourself, who the hell's going to want to be in love with you? Who's going to want to come into your business? They're not. It's a vibration. You're going to block that. And you don't blocking it, but you are. It's the law of vibration. And when shit's going to go crazy, you guys. Okay? So, like, I got to run, and I'm like, I don't know what it is with me tonight. I'm choking up and shit. But I just want you guys to truly, truly, truly be in love with yourselves and enjoy the journey. Just respect the process, and just get back into it and start over. Go back into those ads and thank you for those ads, and start doing go lives. And who gives a shit if there's one person on that go live or not? Because, you know, like Chris McNeil said, some girl was watching her and like wanted to meet her. You never know who's going to be watching you and following you, and your message is going to change that person. So I love you guys. I'm sorry for getting choked up tonight. I don't know what's going on. I'm having a great day.
Don't be sorry, bro.
But just start over. Be in love with yourself. Get out of here and build with here. Once you build with here, nothing will stop. Nothing will stop you, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're in love with here. So thanks so much for letting me ramble. And I love you guys. See you next Thursday.
See you, Cubsy. Amazing shares, guys. Amazing shares. So who can honestly say that they may not quite honor themselves in the way that they should right now? Joanne, okay, Trudy, Kyla, yeah, Angela. Okay, awesome. That's and Mac. I mean, that is critical in taking that step to overcome that challenge, is being aware that it is something that you do minimize yourself, you do diminish yourself, and start working on that starting today. Start reinforcing and realizing the tremendous value that every single one of us has inside of ourselves. You have the power to do it. Even if you did it on your own, you have the power to do it. But would it be helpful if you got around people that are going to lift you up? Absolutely. You know, put yourself in a mastermind where people are going to lift you up and raise you up and be able to encourage you and support you. none of us will accomplish anything great on our own. Not truly great, nothing truly extraordinary is done by ourselves. Can we initiate it? Yes. But the execution, the follow through, that comes down to all of us working together. One path, one direction, one mission, and working hard, diligently with the same values and the same energy. That's how we're going to create some amazing stories out of this team and this community. So, thank you, Chris, for sharing. Glad you've had those epiphanies. And yeah, you know, when I spoke to you today, Chris, I did notice there was a difference in the way that you talk, and you know, it's amazing to see. It's amazing to be a part of. So, what other lessons can we go into? And it doesn't have to just be leadership. Dan, you're right. Be great. Average sucks, as Michael Burnoff says. Average does suck. Who would like to actually, I think this is actually a really key takeaway. Who would like to describe and explain Burnoff's impression, or not impression, his description of average and why average sucks and how average sucks? Who would like to explain that to the rest of the group? There are a few of you there.
Thanks for putting us all on the spot.
Of course, you're all capable. Every single one of you are capable of explaining this.
You know what? I've absorbed a lot, and that's the one part that I don't think sank in for me.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, to be quite honest, that was a day and a half of him. So
I would say, Kevin and everybody, I'll take a stab at it. I think for the most part, most of us have been raised and been in an environment, you know, family and home environment, moving on to our education, our jobs and everything. And we're kind of following this path that the majority of people follow, where our expectation of ourselves is not very high. So we kind of settle and we kind of live in a place where we accept kind of normal, you know, wake up, go to our job, come home, do the, you know, just nighttime routine stuff and do it all over again. And we get a bit complacent about what we could have. And we live a lot in our head instead of living from our heart and living, you know, to be who we really are. I believe that the bottom line is that each one of us has got, you know, a spirit within us. And when Michael talks about, you know, average sucks, it's just, people settle for that sort of complacent place in life without really living truly to their calling and their spirit. And we know that each one of us has more, a desire for more, or we wouldn't be on this mastermind tonight. We wouldn't be a part of GAZ. We wouldn't be a part of everything that we have, you know, been a part of over the last, you know, perhaps years and of our life, months or years, depending on who I'm talking to. But because we can think something, then that means we can have that something that we think about. So I think that for Michael Burnoff, he understands that the world has become kind of mediocre in their desires and settling. And so that's where he came up with the average sucks. And I just can't agree with him more. I mean, I could easily sit back and be comfortable where I am right now and try to figure out my, you know, retirement and end point. But there's just no way that my heart will let me do that. So I've tried a couple of times to step away from, you know, the industry that allows us to grow and learn and become more than we, you know, can be through sort of the normal day-to-day routine that most people live by. And I just know that my spirit, my heart cannot let me do that. Thank God my husband can put up with me like that, because he just keeps supporting me on these journeys. And yeah, looking forward to continuing it. It's a pretty cool journey, especially after having met so many of you in Vegas and got to know the heart behind what we have our hands on here. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And being connected back with Michael Burnoff, I mean, I've worked with him in the past, and getting to see him again and hang out with him again was pretty cool. And I'm really looking forward to all of us being a part of that journey, because it really is very empowering. He's a very great man of influence and teaches us how to do that. So pretty cool.
Can I
Amazing.
touch on that really quickly?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Guys, especially, well, those who've been in here for a while know this, but when you first get started, whether it's from someone that you know or from an ad, we all see the crazy success stories of people making 20, 30, 40, 80 grand a month, people traveling the world. So it's very attractive, but entrepreneurship is not easy. Sorry, guys, there's an airport nearby, so there's an airplane. If you guys can't hear me, just let me know and I'll just wait. But entrepreneurship is not easy. You got to be self-motivated. You got to get up before a couple hours before work sometimes. Sometimes you come home from work and you got to spend a few more hours. You got to go through rejections. And usually the people who reject you are the people closest to you, whether it's family members, coworkers, best friends. It's not easy, and it's not an overnight thing. For some people, you know, they get crazy stories and they get tons of money within a few months. But the reality is this is not an overnight thing. It takes months, sometimes years. But being broke and having to work till you're 65 because you have to pay bills and never having time to do anything that you love, that's not much easier. It might be comfy because it's what you know and you just go back to your comfort zone. But to me, that's a lot fucking tougher than going through the little struggles that entrepreneurs go through. So every day, guys, don't expect an overnight success. Yes, you want to be positive. Yes, you want to keep your eyes on the prize, but don't have an instant gratification mindset, guys. Show up, ask questions. Don't get frustrated. If you feel a little frustrated, like Colin was saying earlier on, step away for a little bit. Or sorry, Tanya was saying, step away for a little bit. Do something. Play video games. Go shoot a basketball. Go for a walk. Meditate. Do something and come back. But yeah, being an entrepreneur is not easy, but it's a lot easier than being broke and never having any time for yourself.
Great message, Jan. Awesome, yeah, message. I'll elaborate here quickly about the average sucks idea, and I feel I got a good grasp of it. And it was a very different idea from what I thought, and I'm going to make the assumption that I thought the same way everybody else thinks is, okay, don't be average, don't be like the masses, don't be like, you know, the ordinary person in today's society. And Burnoff actually describes it as that's not what it is that we are all average. We all today are a product of our own average. We all have our own average, just like baseball players, just like basketball players. You know, they've got a shooting percentage. Some are higher, some are lower. But we all have our own average. We're not comparing to anybody else. We only compare ourselves to ourselves. So somebody like Chris, you know, somebody like Joanne, you know, they've seen their own averages and they continue to level up. And day after day, they show up and they level up and think about, I will not be average. I'm creating a new average today. And that average is going to be higher and better than what it was yesterday. So the idea that Burnoff is implanting in our heads is average sucks in respect to if we stay at our own average and we don't grow and we don't develop and we don't push forward. That's what sucks, when you don't have growth and we don't push yourselves. So the most amazing part of this industry, and of course our community in GAZ, is that we are constantly focused on leveling up, developing ourselves, and pushing one step, one notch, 1 inch further ahead than we were yesterday. And the bottom line is that's all that should matter. Not comparing yourselves to anybody else. You know, the people that are making, you know, 20 or 30 grand a month or 80 grand a month or 100 grand a month. Everybody's possible. All of that is possible. Everybody is possible in that they can accomplish that as well. But will you do what they did? The people that are making that level of income, having those results, speaking on stage, being able to lead teams of 100 or 500 or or 1,000, those are people that continue to level up their average over years, if not longer. Right? I started my GAZ and Enagic business just over a year and a half ago, but I've been trying to beat my average for the last 10 years since I got into this industry. So give yourself that space and that compassion to realize that, hey, you have an average right now. Don't let that be your average tomorrow. And don't take a 0. Just keep leveling up. 1%. Exactly, Dan. 1% better every single day. Dan and Margot. Sorry, I see you there, Margot. Great to meet you guys in Vegas, by the way. Great to see you there. So what else would you guys say is really critical right now? Who has a challenge right now that they're facing that they would like the team here to help with? Who's ready to step outside of their comfort zone tonight?
Well, you're all thinking about stepping outside your comfort zone. I just wanted to add to my story very, very briefly in that one of the biggest things that I sort of figured out that I made the connection to is there is somebody out there who needs to hear what you have to say. Even if you haven't quite figured out what your message is yet, somebody out there that you haven't met yet needs to hear it. So it's selfish to hold yourself back. And, it's good to release that message, to find that message, to keep searching for it. To somebody out there, you're going to change their life by opening your mouth and letting your message out.
Your story matters.
Yeah, imagine if Chris didn't stand up. Something simple like that, her standing up, her speaking at an event, that person, Amber, maybe it was just one exposure that you had to you. Imagine if you didn't stand up or if you didn't speak out. Imagine if you didn't put out that ad, or imagine if you didn't put out that go live. Every action we take, there's a result. Absolutely every single action. So think about if you could compound the actions you take, how much could you increase the impact and the result of those actions? It would be truly remarkable when you think about it. What could happen when you do decide to break through versus break down, when you come across those dilemmas, when you come across those barriers to action. So just be consistent, guys. Take action. Even if it's a little bit of action every single day, take action. And the more action you take, the more it'll compound. But we're not gonna say, well, you have to take big action or small action. Some action is going to move you forward. That's going to help you build confidence. That confidence is going to help you build consistency. And that's what's going to get the results. Anybody else? Anybody else willing to share a challenge that they've had that they would like help with from this amazing team? I'm looking at you. You know what I'm talking about.
I got something, Kev.
Go ahead, Dan.
So, like with me and Margot, our biggest thing was we've been hesitant on doing the whole Go Live thing. But then after being at the VIP thing in Vegas there and seeing Joshua's story and how he got up in front of everybody and said what he had to say and the breakthrough that he had, our takeaway from the whole event now is we've been talking the last few days here and we've been hesitant, but we're actually going to do a 30-day Go Live challenge for both me and Margot and fulfill it and go through with it.
Beautiful. I love that. Who's going to do it with you?
Well, me and Margot. Oh, I mean, somebody else. I don't know.
Who else is going to do a 30-day Go Live? I know somebody wants to. There's got to be one person out there that wants to.
I'll do it with you. When are you starting?
Probably this weekend.
Okay.
And then
Set a date.
I'm going to call out Colton, and he can help me out since he's close to me.
Sure, man. How can I help?
Okay, starting Sunday, we'll start because we got a mastermind up here, and I think Colton's going to be there. So we'll converse and we'll come up with something.
Sounds good. We'll talk about it Sunday.
Are both of you guys in Grand Prairie?
Yeah, you betcha.
Oh, geez, look at that. Look, our family is expanded to all four corners of Alberta. Amazing. That's great to see you guys collaborate. Okay, who else has a challenge? So, I mean, that was a great share, Dan. Thank you so much, Dan and Margot. Really, nobody has challenges right now. Everybody's got everything they need to go win. You guys are set up to make $1,100 commissions. You guys have ads out there. You guys are generating leads every day.
Well, my biggest challenge is time. Waking up in the morning at 5 o'clock and going to the gym, and then going to work, and then by the time I get home, I'm exhausted and it's time for bed, so I can wake up and do it again. So what you're saying, Colton, is challenge time is your challenge. Time is everybody's challenge, right? The clock's ticking on all of us. It's not ticking faster for you. No,
Believe me.
I hear you.
Right?
So I guess it's finding the time. Not time itself, but finding the time.
Yeah. Or maybe a better way to put it is the prioritizing or managing your energy and your focus. Because you can't manage time, right? Time is going no matter what. We can't slow it down. We can't speed it up. We can't put it on pause.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But what you can manage is your own energy and focus.
Well, see, right now, like my focus is to better my body and myself. So
Yep.
all my energy is going into, working out and losing weight. So like I say, by the time I get home, I'm beat. Like I did 500 squats this morning. I'm toast, man.
Good. Hey, good for you, man. Good for you. And that's your priority. So that's great. So you're tackling your biggest priority right now outside of your funding source, which is your job.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Do something little every day. Maybe it's on the way to the gym, or maybe it's before the gym. Maybe it's in between gym and work. Maybe it's at lunch hour. You do not need a ton of time to execute this business. Let me ask you this, Colton. What is the one thing that you can do that is going to get you marketing out there every single day?
To get me marketing out there every single day.
Do you have ads out there right now?
I do have an ad out there, yeah.
Okay. And is it working?
Every once in a while I get like spurts of, I'll get 3 or 4 leads in a couple of days, and then I'll get nothing for like a week or so.
Yeah.
So I'll just and then I'll get a couple more leads and
yeah. So you need to keep split testing, basically.
yeah, for sure.
So how long does it take you to split test?
About a week.
To put up a new version.
Oh, to put up a new version? It doesn't take that long to put it up. I don't know.
Okay, so half an hour. So if you split test every day, it would take you half an hour.
A half hour a day, yeah, for sure.
Okay. Do you not have half hour a day?
I mean, I can push myself to have a half hour at the end of the day, I guess.
Yeah. What time do you usually get home, Colton?
I mean, it constantly fluctuates depending on, what sales cycle we're in. But right now is nice. I'm home at 5. So I've got a couple of weeks now that I can get home at 5 o'clock and actually, work as much as I possibly can on this. But, that sales cycle is going to pick back up. I'm actually going to Arizona now for 2.5 weeks to go help them out work. So it's going to be right back into being busy and being home by 9 o'clock. So that half hour is, it's needed for sleep for sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe you don't do it every day, but maybe you sacrifice that half hour every second day.
Yeah.
Again, it comes down to priorities, Colton. So it's not about time. It's you saying, hey, number one, your priority is your body right now. Fantastic. Never going to take that away from you. However, if your business is also important or close to as important, then you need to carve out some time there. And to spend 30 minutes on it, maybe you segment that and say, okay, if I'm going to split test an ad, I'm going to do the copy in the morning, and maybe that takes 10 minutes. I'm going to look at different pictures in the afternoon, and maybe that takes another 10 minutes. And then you put it all together at the last part of the night, or maybe the next day, and you spend another 10 minutes there putting it all together and publishing it.
That's a great idea.
Colton, I think this is going to help you, man. I've never been a coffee drinker, but if you give your brain the nutrients that it needs to be optimized, you should have energy all day long. And I know Jeng's been really talking about it lots for the last little while, but maybe look into Bulletproof Coffee, because it's one of those things where you get energy and it doesn't spike and go back down. You get energy throughout the whole day. So, when you go back home at the end of the day, maybe that's all you need to actually have the energy to do it. And if that's all it takes, it's worth a few bucks a month to spend on that so that you can make a whole shitload back from your business.
Absolutely. I'll look into that for sure.
Invest in an espresso. I love my Nespresso. I don't have an affiliate link though, so you guys are just gonna have to go get it on your own.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Colton.
Gotcha.
Hopefully that helps.
Absolutely.
Does anybody else have a challenge? Come on, let's tackle these challenges, guys. I know that there's challenges out there that we can help you with. Come on, I know there's
All right.
challenges.
I guess I have one, but I don't. It's pretty technical, so I don't know if anyone can really help.
Yeah, and
It's just-
you've been talking too much already today.
Yeah.
No,
fair enough.
I'm teasing.
No one else
Go
can
ahead,
talk,
Dan.
and no one else. And we all have challenges. It's leads. I have my ad right now it's good. I have over 1,200 comments. It's every single day. I get tons. But my cost per lead is not that crazy. And I'm testing a lot. Yesterday and today I tested 20 different ads, and it's slowly getting better. But that's my main challenge right now. I love getting with my team every single day. Other than that, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but I feel with the amount of work I'm putting, it's the one thing that, I don't know how to get those comments to turn into leads a little bit better than I need to. It's just a tiny little tweak. I know it's all it is, but like I said, it's technical, so I don't think anyone can really, really help me. It's just a matter of me testing more. But no one was speaking about the challenges, so I thought I'd speak about mine.
You're talking about post engagement and converting them from a comment to an opt-in.
Yeah. And it is getting better today. I had some of them between $3 and $4, which isn't bad at all. But consistently, I'd like to be obviously between $2 and $3. So I don't know if the ones at $3 and $4, if they're going to stick around there, I'll be happy. But I've been down there for a while, and then usually kind of slowly creeps back up to $6, $7. So I know I'm right on the edge. I'm right around.
So
there,
you're retargeting
right now,
the same. Sorry, you're retargeting the same ad, and that's how you're split testing, or you're redoing the copy and image.
I kept the same image and I tweaked the text a little bit. Other than that, it's mostly interest and locations. Because my age right now, I got it pretty dialed down. Men between 26 and 38, it's pretty dialed down. But yeah, it's just and I think maybe it has to do with what I say in the back end. But to be honest, I'm the one that's doing really well right now. It's mostly in the States, and I find that a lot of my comments and all of my leads, not all of them, but you can tell. I always go on their profile. I always look at who's commenting, and you can tell without, you never want to judge by the cover of the book, but you can tell that they're not going to be hustlers, or they're probably not going to have money for Trifecta or the credit or something like that, right? So that doesn't help either. So I've been really trying to do different interests. Like today, I don't know why I didn't think about that before, but the picture on my ad, it's me snorkeling. And I figured, hey, people who go snorkeling and usually have money, right? They usually go on vacation. And I've never tested snorkeling before. So I did that today, and I got a few leads from that. But yeah, that's my only challenge really right now. Everything else, I'm not saying everything else is, 100% gold, but that's definitely my one challenge right now.
Awesome. Anybody have any feedback for Jan?
I didn't think so.
Can you combine interests with behaviors? Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're targeting the U.S., you're going to attach a income bracket to it as well.
I tried, and for some reason, it's not letting me.
Try to get. Tammy has a great suggestion. Try to get Chris and Landon to review your ad on Tuesday.
Yeah, my ad is a complete opposite of what they teach, but okay.
Well, then maybe you got to try something different. Again, do another version. Maybe start from scratch.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's so nice out shooting tons of videos. I went and shot some videos today too. But
awesome.
Yeah.
I know you've got like 1,000 comments, right? On that,
almost 1,300 now.
1,300.
Yeah, almost 1,300 now. Yeah.
That's incredible, man. Incredible. It could just be congruency. Like congruency is really, really important, guys. Landon Stapes did train on this a few Tuesdays ago. Is what you say in your copy and what you say in the video, it has to be congruent with the Freedom Formula webinar. So if you're using words that aren't in the webinar, if you're saying like 90% automated, or you're saying, talk to your affiliate marketing, things like that, like that kind of jargon, it's not congruent with what they're using in the Laptop Freedom Formula. If that's the case, that means somebody's opting in expecting one thing and then getting to the landing page or the webinar and then getting something different. That's going to decrease your conversions.
That's actually what I just changed, because the one that's been kicking ass, that's got almost 1,300 comments, it actually talks about the 90% done for you system, and it says because of the system, anyone can now succeed. And what I switched it to is our Freedom Formula, and instead of anyone can succeed, any driven person can succeed. Just to give them a hint that you still got to be driven and do some fucking work, right?
Yeah. Good. And your lead cost might go up. Maybe not, but if it goes up, your quality might increase. So don't get too attached to lead cost, everybody. When you're testing, that lead cost may go up, may go down. Obviously, you want it to stay low, but the true metric is your cost per sale. And then the even more important metric is the cost per upgrade, right? How many people are actually going to go and move forward with a back-end sale, a back-end purchase? So it's an art. There's some math to it. So if you're not good at math, ask, and somebody will walk you through it. Okay, guys. Well, we're at 90 minutes. Do we have any last questions or remarks?
Kyla just asked me to bring up. She's just got some noise going on at her house, so she asked me to bring up her comment in the chat there. Her challenges are doing everything organically, being consistent, and how to better prioritize her time, and figuring out who she is to be able to brand herself better.
Doing everything organically. Organically is not bad. It's literally putting good content out there, reaching out to people. I mean, there's a strategy out there where you can go to influencers' pages and just send them friend requests. Say, hey, saw you like Gary Vee as well. Hey, would love to connect sometime. Or just send them a request. Come up with, you can strategize, and perhaps you are looking for other stay-at-home moms, perhaps, or other moms that are entrepreneurs. Search groups. There are endless groups on Facebook. Try to join those groups and start networking with people. When you are creating your brand, remember, your Facebook page is like your billboard. What does it show? Does it show that you have business content? Because if you're trying to attract business people and you don't have business content, well, they're never going to engage with you. right? If you're all family or all kids or all travel, right? Mel, can you turn that down, babe, please? So again, that's congruency. So who's watching you? Who are you engaging with? Organically, you have to choose who do you want to attract, and then you have to put your image as something that is going to attract those types of people with your posts, your content. Being consistent. Being consistent is just self-discipline, Kyla. I don't have kids, but I know your kid sleeps from time to time. Maybe it's naps.
He doesn't. Right? I've watched. He doesn't ever sleep.
Right? But having somebody over to help you with during that time, whether it's a nanny, I see Melissa's over there right now. So there's ways to get around it, and it's just booking time. You have to schedule time. As your child grows, it's the same as having employees. You gotta say, hey, during this time, I've got X to do. That's my priority for X amount of time. And then how to better prioritize your time. Again, it's you delegating what you can, you prioritizing, but also you being super mom, right? Because that's part of the process. You've got a kid, and sometimes you've got nobody else to take care of him except for you. So I believe that figuring out who you are to brand yourself better, that comes to your own self-awareness. You being able to reflect and journal and figure out what are the most important things in your life, and who do you want to become, and then start putting that out as your brand. Not necessarily who you are now. Obviously, you're a massage therapist. You're a fantastic wife. You're a terrific mother. You're a great friend to everybody here. That's great. But who do you want to become? Are you the business person? Is somebody that glances at your page for 2 seconds, what are they going to see you as? So reverse engineer it and say, okay, if I was looking at my page for the first time and I only have 2 seconds to make an impression, what do I want to put up there? Does that help? Okay, awesome. Anybody else? We're all good? We're ready to crush the week? Ready to smash the month?
Ryan and I are just, sorry, I'm sorry to keep doing this. Ryan and I are just discussing in the chat here, and I'm not completely following. Maybe you would understand, Kevin. He's asking if anybody knows how to link GAZ leads into our GET response. What is GET response?
Oh, Get Response. Get Response is a autoresponder.
Oh, that clarifies everything.
So Ryan, you're talking about your new leads, not your old leads, not the new leads.
My existing leads, yeah.
Yeah, you just go into your back office, go to archived, and export those leads, and then plug them into your Get Response.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, Ryan, I had no idea what GET response was. I was like, what?
Yeah, no, that's right. Thank you.
Okay, awesome, everybody. Thank you for sharing, everybody. Have a phenomenal week. Crush out the rest of this month. You've got 5 days left in the month. Make it the best 5 days that you've had yet to close the month. And then next weekend, we will have our live mastermind once again. So looking forward to seeing you guys at the live mastermind next Saturday. Not this Saturday, next Saturday.